Good morning. Welcome to today's podcast. I'm your host, Damien. Name of the podcast is Club 13. And as I always say, this is a club where we try and become better people. Last week, we were talking about mastering your environment and your situation. This week, we want to talk about the tribe. Now, when I say tribe, I just want to be clear. I don't mean your ethnicity. I want us to redefine tribe. A tribe shares certain things. A tribe has a common language. A tribe has a culture, shared culture that involves customs and norms. A tribe has institutions, different institutions. So you don't have to share the same ethnic background to become a tribe. Okay, so we want to form our own tribe here because we want to form a culture of responsibility. We are trying to become responsible people, responsible for our actions. You can't take responsibility for the state of the road, but you can always take responsibility for your driving. So we are trying to be responsible people. We're being responsible for our own selves, our actions, and what we do. We are taking action. And in doing so, we will be speaking the same language. We will share the same customs and culture and norms, and thereby, eventually, we'll even share institutions. We'll have institutions, different institutions. The tribe has got 4 parts. The first part, institutions. Second part, gender roles. Third part, the masculine journey. And then the fourth part, we'll talk about networks and net worth. In our society today, we have different institutions. I have just decided to highlight 4 institutions. So, number one, we want to talk about the family as an institution. We want to talk about education, and then we'll talk about spiritual or religious institutions. And money is an institution by itself, because a lot of things we do revolve around money, and money affects the choices we make in life. It dictates the directions we take, the kind of life we have. So, today we are going to start with the family. I'm going to be very simplistic in my approach. I'm going to state that a family, a nuclear family, is composed of a mother, a father, and kids. That is the first type of family, a nuclear family. Then we have an extended family composed of the cousins, aunties, uncles, and the rest. In an African setting, you don't have one father. On your father's side, his brothers are your fathers. In the African setting, the uncles are brothers to your mother, not brothers to your father. Sometimes, in cases of a polygamous setting, you have different mothers. Remember, at first, they came after the polygamous family. Second, they came after the nuclear family. Currently, that is what is happening. They are coming after a nuclear family. How many cases, how many people do you know who come from a one-parent family? Both parents are alive, but they live with one parent. The parents are separated. So, to me, it seems like there's an attack on our family unit. It is from the family that you learn the basics of the society. The family will inform you of the norms, the values of your society. So if the family unit is broken, then you grow up without a strong foundation. And finding your place in the society becomes even more challenging. Without a strong family foundation, most likely you're going to struggle in the society as a whole. Because remember, it is family that welcomes you to this world, that gives you your first education and teaches you how to be a member of the society. If you belong comfortably to a family, then you can easily belong into a society. You learn a lot of survival skills that you need in the society. If you belong, you're born into a family of many kids, you learn conflict early on, how to manage conflict. You know, it's only through conflict that you actually get to know yourself, you get to know your personality, you get to know what your principles are and what you stand for. Are you going to let people just walk over you, or you're going to stand your ground? And it is through conflict growing up as kids that you learn to socialize. There are other ways that you learn to socialize, but reading people's personalities and learning about the true nature of people, you get that through conflict. You can learn the same through games, but even when you're playing as kids in a group, there's a lot of conflict, and it's through conflict that you get to learn a lot of things. The family is a very important institution for the society, and therefore it is important that we try and mend our broken families. For the sake of our society's future, we need to mend our broken societies. We have this trend of copy-pasting anything that comes from the West. And remember, the West has different agendas to benefit their society, not our society. We have to realize that as Africans, a lot of the things we are going through, a lot of the problems we go through is because we try to become what we are not. We are not the West. I don't care whether you've been to the US and you come back with a US accent. It doesn't change who you are. We are not like the West. We have different set of rules, different setup of our society, and we are facing a lot of challenges because we have tried to transform our society to become something else. So we have lost our cultures, we have lost direction. We don't behave like Western societies, we are not fully Western, and we are not African anymore. We are something else. I always say, and I'll keep repeating, the family setup is very important. Traditionally, we used to get married quite early, but with modern times, it's becoming harder and harder for younger people to get married. You find by the time men are ready to settle down, they are 35 years and above. That is when most men are now ready to settle down because they are able to protect and provide. I'm not saying other people don't get married early. There are people who obviously get married earlier. Majority of men in our society nowadays, you settle down after 35 years. That is when you have everything set and you can take care of a family. Remember, marriage is not just about procreation. I always say don't procreate if you have no means of taking care of your creation. I'm not saying you have to have everything ready. It's just you have to have plans in place. We don't want to bring in kids into the society who are feeling left out because we did not put plans in place to take care of them. It is important to have a family unit. Now, in a family, there is leadership roles. The father is the head of the family. The father is the leader. You cannot have two leaders, two captains of a ship. No, you have one. We can't have two presidents at a go in a country. We have one and the vice. So in a family setup, the leader, the one who is supposed to provide leadership, is the father. I always say the father's role is to provide and protect. Provide house, provide clothing, provide food, and protect your kids, wife or wives. The woman will support. I know we have a breed of independent ladies around. The noisy fellas, they call themselves feminists. That is part of the problem. Aping the West when it does not even suit us, does not benefit us. So at the end of the day, what I always say is, let us sort our house first. Forget about other people's problems. We have a lot of problems here. And one of the problems is our family setup. We are failing. We are failing because we don't have proper leadership in the family. Boys have not been brought up to be boys or to be men. There's lack of male presence in a lot of boys' lives. So they grow up to be whatever we're having right now. We don't have strong men. We don't have leaders. You can never lead by following. The head of the family is the man, the husband, the father, who trains his boys to become leaders at the end of the day. The wife has a very important role to nurture, bring forth life and nurture. Very important role. They mislead you and tell you, oh, you can also lead. No, the man is the leader. You cannot have two leaders. I don't care how vocal you are. I don't care how much education you've got. It is not your job to lead. Men are better leaders because we go with facts. We don't go with feelings and emotions. Now, the reason we are having a challenge with our family setup is because we have groomed our boys to be so much into their feelings that they cannot make proper decisions. We are bringing up boys like girls. Boys are not supposed to be brought up like girls. Men are supposed to take action, lead from the front. I'm not saying you don't get advice from your wife, because they might see things differently. At some point, their perspective is also different from ours. Saying the final decisions, it's up to you to make them. So the father is the leader. The mother nurtures. Then kids will know right from wrong, and kids will be able to grow up in their right genders. You are what your family is. You're an extension of your family. So if you grow up in a broken family, obviously you're going to grow up broken. You'll have things lacking. You'll not be a complete individual. Even having a family is going to be an issue because you would not know how to go about it. Yes, you can get married and stuff, but living together is a different challenge. Family is one of the institutions. The other institution is institutions of education. In an education system, we have kindergarten. Nowadays I see baby class. It's hard. We have a lot of so we have formal education institutions. Traditionally, it was the grandparents that educated the children, grandchildren. Nowadays, we have schools and trained people to do that. But they follow a syllabus. And the challenge is the education that we are getting is not all round. There are some aspects of life that are not covered. Kids just want to spend time with their parents. So parents, you need to find time and spend time with your kids. Kids don't care how much money you make. They actually don't. All they care about is how well you've bonded with them. That is what matters. You hear kids flexing that, oh, my dad is in the house. They don't flex with toys anymore. They flex with parents being available. They don't care whether you've been fired or not. They just want your presence. So education institutions, I would say the family is the first education institution. Family as an institution is also the first place you get your education from. Your educational foundation is laid in the family. Yes, we have the formal education, but we have informal education as well. A lot of things you learn, your personality is groomed from your family. The educational institutions we have in Kenya, we have pre-primary, primary, post-primary, and then post-primary is secondary. And then after secondary, you have tertiary education, post-secondary education. It's the responsibility of your parents to take you to school up to Form 4. Primary and secondary, that is their responsibility. That is their duty. If they don't do it, they need to be arrested. But that is their duty. Anything past high school is a favor they're doing to you. Once you're 18, you are no longer a kid. You're an adult. You should start paying tax. Them taking you to school is a privilege. It's a favor. So we have these institutions in place. These educational institutions or institutions of education. We say education is important. I agree, 100%. Education is important. Basic education is the most important thing you can ever get. Now, basic education is not primary school education. Basic education is up to high school. Anybody who's gone up to Form 4 has basic education. And real learning starts after. There are two paths to take. You can go to the school of life, the university of life, after high school, or you can go to one of the universities available, run by government or private. What you do at the university, whether you attended the university of life or you attended this as a formal university, dictates, the much learning you do there dictates how successful you'll become as a person. Institutions of education are important because this is where we learn how the world works. You learn a lot of things in school that help you understand the world, your environment. School is about making you understand who you are, where you are, and how to maneuver. We have stressed for so long this thing of go to school, do well, get a good job, and you're set for life. That doesn't work anymore. Going to school, doing well in school does not guarantee your success in life. It does not guarantee you getting a job at the end of the day. But the institutions are important because we learn to socialize, we learn to network, we learn important skills in schools. These institutions of education, we learn very important skills there. You might not know it, but your schooling determines who you become at the end of the day. Primary education, you're just absorbing and learning all these things. And then in your teens, when you go to high school, we say your high school determines who you become. Your high school informs your adulthood. We, as a society, need to ensure that our kids are getting the right education at all levels, and that this education does not stop at the syllabus, but there are other things we need to learn. We have religious institutions. I say spiritual stroke religious because we have people who are not religious, they're spiritual. I'm not talking to atheists who don't believe in the existence of God. About people who believe in the existence of the Almighty. We have religious institutions where we go there to learn about morality. Religious institutions teach us about morality, right from wrong, a continuation of what we were taught in the home, from the family institution. We get that from religious institutions, spiritual institutions. They are very important in the society. Without a moral compass, there would be so much chaos. Money as an institution. They say time is money, meaning if you use your time well, you can make money with your time. To make money, all you need is time. So how you use your time dictates how much money you make. When you've gone to school, you've spent a lot of time, in school, you've got an education, you have papers, and you apply for a job. When you're negotiating, you're actually negotiating for how much your time is worth. Because remember, when you're working for somebody, you're giving them your time. You're giving them your time. They are paying you for your time. Hence, time is money. So money, I put money under institutions because at the end of the day, we are all working for money. We are all driven by the fact that you can go to school, get a job, and work and get money. And your independence is pegged on your ability to make money. You've heard people talk about financial independence. We've gotten to a point where all sorts of independence can come from money. You have to understand how money works. The mistake we've been doing for long is money has become more or less a taboo in our society where we don't sit down with our kids to talk about money. What is the value of money? What does it mean to make money? What does it take to make money? We have that problem. Parents shy off from discussing money with their kids. Kids grow up not knowing about money, and as adults, they make stupid mistakes. They get into gambling. They waste a lot of money. They get into pyramid schemes because they don't know how it works. You can tell how much somebody is worth from just how they look. This person is talking about how many millions they made in the past year, and you have these older guys believing them. I mean, if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it. Making money is not easy. You have to give up a lot of things to make money. Mostly, you have to give up your time to make money. It is hard to have both time and money. If you have a lot of time on your hands, then you don't have a lot of money. If you have a lot of money, then you don't have time because you're busy. That's how you make money. You make money by being busy. There are other ways. We'll get deeper into making money later on when we are talking about networks and net worths. But for now, I'm describing money as an institution in our society. I've put money as an institution because everything we do is about money. It doesn't matter the currency. We work for money and our time is money. We don't barter trade anymore. So you can learn a bunch of skills and then figure out how much your time is worth. Then somebody hires you, you apply your skills, and they pay you as per the rates of how much time or how much your time is worth. Skills play a role in how much you're going to earn, but basically you're exchanging your time for money. You're exchanging your time for money. If you don't give up your time, you can never make money. So money is one of the institutions. And we'll talk a little bit more about money later. So I have talked about the family as an institution. We talked about schools. We talked about religious institutions as our moral compasses. Time equaling money and money as an institution. These are just my thoughts. This is how I look at the society and this is what I see. So I put it here. We might share same beliefs. I know some people we might not share the same beliefs. You might look at the society differently. It's okay. More power to you. But for me, I think the most important institutions in a society is a family, educational institutions, religious institutions, and money as an institution. It's not a taboo. We need to talk about this. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching today's episode. And I'll catch you on the next one.